Welcome back to the channel. This is Sean's Take on Things. I am Sean. Today, my take on Whetstone Sharpening kitchen knives. Okay, so what does that mean? Stick around and we'll get right into it. Okay, so Whetstone Sharpening a knife. What are we doing? Well, we are in fact using a whetstone that's also called a whetstone. So my stone has been soaking in water, and this is a WHET stone, wet stone, and we do want to work with it while it is wet. WET. When I put the stone in the water, submerge it in the water, you'll see little air bubbles come out. When the air bubbles stop coming out, stone's ready. We do have a knife, towel. So we do have a base that came with our two-sided stone. This is a two-sided stone. This darker side is much rougher than the smooth side, and this is 1,000 grit on this one, on the dark side, and 6,000 grit on the light side. So the 1,000 is where we'll start. That's a lot coarser. It's going to remove material from the knife, put the edge back on it, and then the 6,000 grit side will polish it, and then we'll have our knife. I'm going to move the water aside, and you do want to keep water nearby. If while you're working on your knife this stone absorbs water or it evaporates and becomes dry, you can just dip your hand in the water, rub a little more water on there, and keep going. Okay? So we're working with a chef's knife, 12-inch chef's knife. Picked this up at a yard sale. It's pretty much the same sharp on both sides. We could probably sharpen either side equally well. But if you watched my honing a knife on a steel, you're looking for some of the same things. We're going to be working with the business end of the knife and just on that beveled edge. And that beveled edge we're going to set on the wet stone. And we're pretty much going to hold the knife by the knife itself and then balance it by gripping the handle so that we have control. Always want control with a knife, especially a dull one. When you set the blade on the stone, you're going to bring it up until the little beveled edge is what is sitting flat on the stone. So not the body of the knife, but just the edge. And what we're going to do is we are going to, with the weight of the blade, slide it down the stone, and then we're going to come back up and come down again. So we want to make sure that, now this knife has a little piece here at the end that is not blade. The blade stops just short of the end of the knife. So we want to make sure that we start sharpening at this edge and go all the way to the tip. So we're going to start at the top, just line that up. And again, we're not pushing down, we're just controlling the weight and the direction of the knife. Make sure we're on that angle and slide it until the tip comes off. And we're just going to describe that angle each time. And then we're going to turn it over, mimic the grip in our left hand, our non-dominant hand. It'll be good practice for you. And then again, we're going to just the weight of the knife. We're just going to guide it and the weight of the knife. Now this is not something you do often. So it's better if you take your time and make sure you're getting the angle set the way you want it, that you're pulling along the edge without pressing too hard, and do a couple more that way, and then we'll do a couple of more. So this is the whole process. Now there's a lot of dangers here in that if you're removing steel from your knife, you're actually shrinking the size of your knife to make it sharp again. If you do that wrong, you'll make it more dull and smaller, and then you'll get into the part where you need a professional to do it. Now that actually came up to a nice edge in just like 10 pulls, and if you can pull hair off, it's not quite ready. So we're going to do a couple more here, maybe 5 more on each side. So it is a little bit of a concentration exercise to make sure you just keep repeating the same move each time. Don't forget to do the other side. Just a few of those. Nice. Then we take this over to the polishing side, and we do the same thing, and it'll sound a little different. And whoops. If you don't get lined up just right, you'll feel that you did it bad. And that usually just means you added a few more strokes to the process. All right, and like I said in the honing video, if you can shave off some hair, you're not going to shave with it, but if it takes off some hair, then you've done pretty good. Slicing a newspaper is a technique. It's not a demonstration of how sharp a knife is. It just isn't. So that's honing. If you have one of these in your house to sharpen a knife, if you look down in there, you'll see that one side looks ceramic and one side looks like steel, and it's because one side is honing and the other side is removing. So you actually do need to go both directions in some of these, or you'll end up with a lopsided knife. This little guy has two openings. This one, even though it doesn't look like it, I don't know if you can see, is the ceramic, and this one is carbide steel. So they sharpen just a little bit differently, and you can use these. And this actually has a little honing rod on it that you can use. I wouldn't, but it's there if you need it. Maybe if you're camping. I have a smaller one of these too that fits in a backpack. I couldn't locate it for this video, but that's the whole thing. Set your angle, pull with the weight of the knife, the same number of strokes on each side. Because remember, when you're sharpening a knife, you're removing material to make a point, and then you hone a knife that gets bludgeoned a little bit. So this is sharpening, and then honing is the other video. So let me know your successes if you've sharpened knives successfully in your life. It's a great skill to have in your kitchen. And hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any videos. We're going to do some more some knife skills in the kitchen, how to hold a knife properly and cut, so that you can save time when you're doing things. And I'm going to do a whole series on setting up a bar for your home entertaining. So subscribe, let me know what you think in the comments, and come on back next time.